My name is Nandini Srikar. I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, producer, programmer, a musician. I'm based out of Mumbai, India, and for the last 23 years I have composed, programmed music for advertising films, thousands of them, and I have sung for many films, and currently I do a lot of Bollywood films. I sing for Bollywood films. I grew up in Hyderabad in Telangana, and I come from a very musical family. I was exposed to a lot of different kinds of music right from my childhood: Carnatic, Hindustani, rock, blues, jazz, Western classical, ghazals, and that's what I grew up with. But we are South Indians, and for us, academics is by far the most important thing. And I studied mathematics. I did my master's in mathematics. I did information and systems management. And then I took up a job. I was also married in the meantime, and I took up a job. I was working for a software company. And from there I transitioned suddenly one fine day, call it a stroke of luck or destiny. That's as we put it, that brought me into the music industry. It was never my intention to become an artist or a musician. That is something that you do as a hobby, but destiny brought me into this field, and then it was my decision to quit the job. Instead of doing a 9 to 5 kind of an office job, I decided to do music, and I've been in this music industry ever since. It all started off, this transition, with me getting an opportunity by a very famous singer here in India, Mr. Hariharan, who got me to sing a song for a Tamil film, and it became a huge hit. And that was when I decided to quit my job. But it was not something that my family welcomed, because being a musician, it's great to have as a hobby, but as a job, there's far too much uncertainty. Our family was more into classical music, not too keen on me becoming a part of a Bollywood industry or a music industry the way we know it. And my father was not too happy about it, but I decided I'm going to do it anyway. So there's no harm in giving it a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But then I wouldn't want to live with the thought that I could have tried this and regret not having tried at all. There was no support, for sure. It was not really easy the first few years. There were many years of struggle. There were many times when I came really very close to quitting, but something just held me together, something held me on, and I carried on. My focus was music, and I kept trying, and I think at some point it just kind of started working for me in a certain way, and I just went with the flow. first opportunity I got that actually brought me out of my office job was the Tamil song I sang for a feature film. And the song became a huge hit. But then after that, it was a big struggle. I did not get really many opportunities after that. I went around giving my demos to people and I met a lot of people in the industry. Work was not very easy to come by. And that is what actually pushed me into studying and learning production, programming. I picked up every possible book I could lay my hands on, read them cover to cover, and then I started doing that job. And that is how I started to be able to pay my bills. I started composing music for ad films and I got established. That actually helped me survive this industry for so many years. So this went on for almost, I'd say 14 years. Suddenly, one fine day, I got this opportunity to sing for a film called Ra.One. Shah Rukh Khan from Shah Rukh Khan is a very big hero. When I got the opportunity to sing this song, because I also got the freedom to treat the song the way I liked, and the name of the song is Bhare Naina. I made it a very semi-classical kind of a song. The song was received really very well and it made a lot of people stand up and take notice. And that was a song that got me my first recognition as the Best Female Singer of the Year award. And after that I have received many opportunities to sing for Bollywood, and that was a completely different phase that started off for me. So basically it took them 15 years to recognize me in the industry as a musician. जीने से पहले मरना क्यों माने अपने ही घर में डरना क्यों माने क्यों Today, after so many years, it's like more than 23 years now, and I have reached a certain stage in playback singing where people do recognize me, and I have a huge fan following. I have received a lot of awards too. Has that changed my life in any way? Of course, personally, no, because the way I view my life and myself vis-a-vis the work I do, yes, there is a bigger celebrity status as far as the audience and people are concerned. But to me, I'm still the same musician that I always was, and always wanting to do something very musical, the way I think music, the way I feel music. In India, films and music are like bonded together, like husband and wife. Usually we don't have films without music. So that this is a part of our cultural history, you see. And new generation filmmakers, when they're bringing in very new perspectives in music also, which are being fused with the kind of films that they're making, which I think is great. It's great for the art, it's great for music, and I just hope that people would continue to be more experimental and take the risks and bring in a lot of good original music. There's been a paradigm shift, I would say, in the way people look at singers and what is required. And they have welcomed new set of singers, new set of new kinds of voices. My voice is typically very different from what people listening to film songs have been used to all these years. And we are also going back to some of our classical music and fusing it with modern presentation. It's garnered a lot of interest, and there's a lot of young crowd today that is absolutely loving this form of fusion. That they're being equally appreciative, that which is modern and that which is traditional. So I think in a way I feel very proud. This is a very, very good time to be in Bollywood, I think. The songs I sing for Bollywood are composed by other music directors. There's a different composer, there's a different lyric writer. My job is to go and sing the song the way they deem fit most of the time. But a lot of times, and most of the time actually with me, what happens is they call me for a very specific reason. And they say, okay, Nandini, this is the brief and this is the feel that we want, this is the melody, but they always give me the freedom to present the melody, change the melody here and there, and present it the way I want it, because the vibe is what they are looking for. And so I do give in a lot of inputs, and I say, are you okay with this? And if they're fine, then it's great. But if they're not okay with it, they say, okay, maybe not like this and maybe this way, and I try and understand what it is that they're looking for. What I essentially do is present my own interpretation of what I'm hearing from them. So in that sense, yes, there is that input from my side. That's what I put on the table from my side. I have sung in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, and Hindi. In advertising, of course, I have sung Bengali and Assamese and Nepali, many other languages too. But when it comes to feature films, yes, these are the languages I've sung in. Most of the time people do ask, how do you manage to sing so many languages? And particularly in India, there are so many different kinds of languages with very different intonations, and not so easy. To start with, we do have somebody, the person in the studio called the language supervisor, who corrects mistakes if we make them, who tells us exactly how a particular word is to be pronounced. Having said that, how you speak a language and how you sing in that language are two different things. So while you're singing, yes, you do need to bear in mind how the melody flows with that particular set of lyrics, and what you need to accentuate and what you need to kind of hold back. It is a tricky thing, but I guess it's how you apply your mind to that and how you understand the feel and the vibe of it. And once you get it, I think you naturally tend to do it, because if you do make a mistake, somebody is there to correct you. So you relearn and you do it till you get it right, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. A lot of people do ask me, what is more important for you, the composing, the production, arranging, music? For me, I consider the singing and the arrangement, everything works simultaneously inside my head. I cannot say I like one better than the other. I enjoy all of it, and it all happens together for me. When I came into the industry, one of the things that I actually was quite interested in doing was write my own songs and release the album through a record label and then go on the road and perform shows. But I came in at a very wrong time when that kind of an indie industry was like really going down, and there was absolutely no opportunity for me to do that. And that is how I got into advertising. And if you're not very careful, you tend to kind of, over a period of time, forget what you want to say. But I had so much to say, and it was there inside me so much. And that is how I made my album Beete Pal, which I released way back in 2011. And I took a long time to actually get it out. It's essentially a matter of time. Like there's so many things that you're doing, and somewhere in between all of that, you're trying to take the time out to write material and for your album. So there was all of this happening, but it needed to come out, and so I continued over a period of time, just like putting my ideas down and work on them in my downtime. And one fine day, like I had these musicians playing instruments and stuff, and that propelled me to finish the album. And all the recordings that I did happened in the last 6 months. It took me about 5 years to make the album. For 4.5 years, there was just me and my music. And suddenly, the last 6 months, I had all these musicians come on board and play, and that propelled me to finish the album completely. And I said, okay, now I will release it. It doesn't matter who listens to it, who doesn't. It's a digital age era in any case. You put it out, those who want to hear it will listen to it in any case. So that is how I finished the album. And it was a huge sigh of relief, and I kind of like just cooled down a little bit after I finished that. I know how it was for me. Beete Pal was released much before I became famous. And after I became famous and more people got to know me through the film songs, they got to listen to my album too, and people loved it, and that was when I got a lot of feedback. It was a very beautiful thing for me, because I know what made me write those songs. I know what made me, put those songs out. They were so close to my heart. And people related to those songs at a very, very personal level. And these songs made their way into their hearts, although it took a long time for that to happen. I think that is what really music is all about, and that's exactly what I would like to do. It's what music I make comes from my heart, but I'm sure what I have to say finds its way into somebody's heart. Every human being on this planet listens to some kind of music or the other, and there is so much trouble. People are so troubled. There's emotionally troubled, and there is no respite. Life is not easy for anybody. I think the only way I can touch people's lives is by writing stuff where people are able to relate to that music in a way that it brings them some sense of peace, at least for that time that they're listening to it. And for those who don't understand the lyrics, the music has its own language. You see, people relate to the music in their own way, and I think that when that happens, I think I've done my job. That's my contribution with love to the society that is around me. We as human beings can only do that much for ourselves. After a certain point, it's our positive contribution to the society around us that actually makes our life worthwhile.
हम जब भी बचपन की यादें टटोले तो हर सांस हर धड़कन हर लम्हा बोले काश वो दिन लौट आए बीते पल याद आए। ऐसा लगे जैसे सदियां बीती, जैसे वो दिन फिर लौट आए, बीते पल याद आए।
I think our lives are most satisfied when we have contributed positively to society around us. I think what I have got in me is a gift from God. Music, I think, is a gift from God, and I would like to utilize this in as many ways as possible. Maybe even, the research that is happening, on frequencies and, brain research that is happening, how human beings and human psyche reacts and responses to various kinds of frequencies. How do people heal through music, which is again a very, very important aspect. And yes, I have had some neurosurgeons and neurologists who are doing research in this field, who've contacted me to help them through the radio diagnostic aspects of these issues. And of course, I have also studied clinical psychotherapy, and and so this is something that is very, very close to my heart. And using music for healing is something I definitely have been looking into for a very long time. For the people who are aspiring to be musicians, if you have the music in you, you can take up music. But ultimately, your final satisfaction of this gift that you have comes to you when you're able to positively influence your society through the music. Listening to music is just that beautiful. And the kind of electronic digital media we have these days, music can reach across boundaries and barriers of all kinds, and so many people can listen to your music. And I think one can take advantage of that and get your music across to people. It can be used to heal people, and I think the world does need some healing.
मौत के द्वार है खड़ा तू, हिसाब जिंदगी का लगा, क्या खोया तूने क्या पाया, जो वक्त था उसे कैसे गवाया। याही दुनिया सिर्फ दुनिया है, तेरी जिंदगी नहीं, बस झांक ले अपने अंदर, खुशियाँ हैं बड़ी।
What were we supposed to talk about?
We're talking about